Hey guys, Likey here, and I am astoundingly excited to say that I have hit my season goal this season. My season goal was 5,800 initially, but as the trophy started climbing and I hit 5,800 about mid-season, I was like, you know what? My goal is 6,100, and I finally hit it, and it's Grand Champion, so I'm really this was my goal all along, and I'm really happy to have hit it. And I'm gonna be showing you guys the battles that actually led up to it. Getting to 6,100 was probably the most frustrating ladder experience of my life because I got 10 trophies away, and then I got 5 trophies away, but I kept tilting back down, and I kept facing hard counters on the very last match before 6,100. I believe it happened 7 times, but after facing so many hard counters, I was by luck bound to face an easy matchup once. So this is gonna be a feature. So the last battle was actually it was actually a golem matchup, but the golem didn't have a heavy spell, so it was a pretty easy matchup. And the second to last battle was a balloon freeze without a heavy spell, which I don't feel is too difficult to beat. So I'm going to be showing you guys this deck here against Bishop 55. Where he had Golem, but he had Wizard, and he had Rocket for my Pump, and 3 Musketeers, he had Tornado. He just had a ton of stuff. So this is one of the harder Golem matchups. So I'm going to show you this battle, then I'm going to show you guys the final battle that led up to 6,100. So definitely very excited. So let's just go through the gameplay really quick. And you guys should be able to beat Golem with 3 Musketeers every time, at least after this video, just because, there's a strategy to it. It's basically focused on punishing. So basically, they drop their pump, they drop their Golem, you punish as hard as you possibly can, and that's basically the principle. So he rocketed my pump, and typically when people rocket my pump, and then don't do anything else, I just kind of play passive and then play my 3 Musketeers before they can get back to another rocket. Now, he actually decides to Tornado here, but he doesn't have a heavy spell, so I decide to actually turn this into a push, to turn his Tornado into my advantage. So I put a Battle Ram in front, he wastes his logs, so that means I can use my Goblin Gang here, and he plays a Wizard, but he doesn't play it very well, because it's actually in a position where it's not hitting the 3 Musketeers, and it dies, and I take an early tower, which is actually really good here. So before he even dropped his Golem or Pump, I was actually able to take a tower, so I didn't even have to punish and tower trade or anything like that. And against Golem, you typically win by the 3 crown. It's really dynamic. They'll drop their Golem, and you just go like Giant, Battle Ram, Minion Horde, and take the 3 crowns. So I think I did something similar to that here. So he rockets my Pump again, so I just, play passive bats and set up my 3 Musketeers again, because that's the logical play. So typically when people fireball or poison your pump, then you go Minion Horde, but when they rocket or lightning it, I would go 3 Musketeers. So here we go. So I just split my 3 Musketeers, and he decides to drop his Golem there. So, here I'm just thinking I should pressure on the other side, because they have to defend the 3 crown. They can't ignore it like they can when I'm getting the 1 crown. So I just go all in. I go a Giant and a Battle Ram, and just try to take the tower here. I set up a Goblin Gang to keep my Musketeer alive for a little longer. And he actually ends up dropping the Wizard, but that is not going to be enough. He committed to that Golem push, and I saw it as an opportunity to push as hard as I possibly could for the 3 crown. And I took it, and that made it a 3-0 victory. So that was definitely a very good battle. I was feeling pretty happy after that one. Then I versed a Loon Freeze. It wasn't too hard because I can just... I have a lot of spam troops that counter anything that's frozen, so that wasn't too much of an issue. He doesn't have a heavy spell for my 3 Musketeers either. But I'm going to show you guys the final battle that led up to 6,100, which was this Golem. It was a pretty easy matchup, but I still really want to show it to you guys because I'm just really excited. So, I have Pump here, so obviously I just start up with the Pump. Normally I wait like a microsecond after 10 elixir just to check if they do anything that, would would make me not want to pump like a giant in the back, because if they're setting up a giant in the back and I pump, I'm kind of screwed on defense. So interestingly enough, he chooses to go with a golem. So I just punish right with a giant and bats to check if he has zap, and he does, but that means I can go in with my goblin gang, and the chances he has log are quite low. So he actually defends this pretty well with a lumberjack. But he doesn't have too much elixir to support his golem, maybe just a night witch or a baby dragon. But either way, I play my 3 musketeers all in the back and just melt that golem. And even if he had a heavy spell, that would be perfectly fine, since my 3 musketeers got about 8 elixir of value there. And I would have just set up another pump if he actually used a spell on that. But because he doesn't have a spell, that makes it even better, because now he has to find a way to counter that. And by now I know he doesn't have a spell, because if he had one, he clearly would have used it on either the pump or the 3 musketeers. So I just go in with a battle ram and take that tower. No problem. So this is definitely a very good start. Well, I don't really know if it's a start. It's more like the middle. I don't want to take too much damage from the baby dragon, so I throw down some bats, just playing very carefully, and he sends in a golem. So instead of pressuring immediately, I decided I kind of want something to take out the golem as a backup. I know he doesn't have a heavy spell, so I can use my 2 musketeers there, and that's probably going to do some damage to the golem. And I just I start setting up in the opposite lane, because I just want to get the 3 crown right now. That's how you win against golem. You just go for the 3 crown, and then they have to defend it. So, you know, I throw down my goblin gang. He chooses to tornado it, but I just, it's not enough, I believe, or it is enough actually. So he does manage to take it out, but I have a ton of damage on the king tower right now. I just defend the remainder of his push, and he didn't do too much to my king tower, so I'm definitely in the lead here. I send in a giant because my minion horde's already there, and I don't really want to waste it, so I just send in a giant to make it a threat, and basically that minion horde that was remaining, it survives and just goes and takes the 2 crown and finally the 3 crown. So I decided it was important to defend there. I wasn't going to keep going because there was a bit of a risk, because with golem they can actually 3 crown you, so if you don't get the 3 crown, don't keep rushing in, because they're just going to destroy you first. But that's it for 6100. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I am done for this season. And it was actually really hard, because 3 Musketeers has a lot of counters in this meta, but I really have become a much better player for playing 3 Musketeers. And for any of you guys that wanted me to use a deck other than 3 Musketeers with Giant, I really can't, because this account really only has that deck leveled up. So I will be playing that deck for a while. Maybe next season I'll get a different account, but for this season this is going to be, well, basically, this has been the deck that I could play. I couldn't play anything else, but I think it's a really solid deck, and it's just really powerful in a lot of matchups, and it beats hard counters pretty well if you know what you're doing. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you guys again next season. Bye.